guys. So I have a couple readings I want to do. I've been thinking a lot about okay, so we know Trump's going to be gone, but what is the mess that he's leaving behind in terms of the American public and misconceptions they have thanks to Trump enablers, some of that right-wing media and whatever the Trumpy agenda or the right-wing agenda is, they are really causing a lot of people to be very confused about reality. Interesting, when I said reality, we get the Sun card, meaning good fortune, happiness, joy, and harmony, with the Three of Cups, which for me is Democrats celebrating. So this is a reality that has them confused. They must have expected Trump to win, and they can't understand how it happened and how Democrats get to move forward in power and happiness. The Rudy Giuliani's coming out and just saying all this nonsense, and we think it's ridiculous. But I know I'm talked to more friends lately who have just had to stop talking to family members because they're so upset about all the wrong things. They really think that there's like Biden-Harris or some dangerous cabal and all this corruption involving Hunter Biden. It's just they're in a different reality. I know someone an older family member, a friend, put Newsmax on her phone, so now she gets all of her information from and she's just all upside down. It's just very upsetting. This stuff is real, and it's happening everywhere, and I just don't know what the future holds. And this is all thanks to Trump, but also his backers and enablers with their media, creating this alternate reality that's completely upside down. It's so upsetting. But first, before I look into sort of how it's going to go for America, some viewers have suggested, and I thought I saw this also, and I just really need to look and see for sure one way or another. I don't know why my voice is cracking so much today, but a lot of people wondering, did Trump really get as many votes as the voting totals indicate? And it's very complicated reading on this, considering that I would like people to believe that the Biden votes are correct, so we can move forward. And then at the same time, I'm but maybe these other states are incorrect, that Trump won. It feels like a sort of double standard or something. If the state that my person won in, then that's fair, but the other one, it's not fair. I don't know, I feel a little it feels a little complicated, but the other thing is that I really believe that Trump would use any crooked means to get more votes. And I feel like in 2016, that happened. Not to mention, Trump always accuses others of what he actually did or is doing. So the more he accuses the Biden camp of trying to change votes, the more I think he probably did that or tried to do that. And maybe he's just shocked that it wasn't enough or it didn't work. And I just want to look and see if I can just directly ask the cards and get an answer. Was there electronic switching of votes to benefit Donald Trump? Was there some kind of electronic adding or switching of or subtracting of votes, any kind of electronic manipulation in order to benefit Trump? I do think it's possible that Biden won. Biden could have won these states despite the cheating, So anyway, I just want to know, was there any kind of electronic manipulation in this? Not sure how I'm going to get my answer, but let's just see what we get. Okay, so I ended up pulling a lot more cards than I expected. I was sort of just doing an intuitive thing, and then I realized I wanted to do this. I still wanted the whole final outcome and how things feel now. So anyway, it's all here, but I'll try not to take too long on all of this. So I do get a story that does indicate, yes, they did everything. They tried everything. So, and they still lost, which is interesting. So here I have this Four of Cups. This, covered by this King of Swords. This is like, the card of the read is that they felt that they were not, the poll numbers, the popularity of Trump leading up to the election, it didn't look good for them. So this, a sort of feeling of, we're not getting enough. They didn't like the numbers. They didn't like how it looked. Covered by the King of Swords, this would be an idea man, an idea person. So it's like, okay, we're not getting the numbers, and someone's on it. I see at the surface this Emperor card, and at the bottom, this Three of Pentacles. This is like teamwork and collaboration and planning, this Three of Pentacles. So beneath it all, so this tells me there was a plan to keep the Emperor in place. Now, the Emperor can mean more than just the basic, meaning of emperor, like a king. I definitely read it here in based on the question at hand, that we're talking about an emperor is not elected in. An emperor is just an emperor and stays in power. So when you have a plan here at the base and an emperor at the top, the plan is to keep the emperor in power. We shouldn't care about how many people vote. This is our king. Watching back, I also feel the patriarchy element of this card, which Trump is definitely a part of, but it's even more of a collective of the old powers and ideas that want to stay in power, and Trump enables them to do so, which is why it's so important to so many that he does. And then the clarifiers I get on this Eight of Wands is like things coming in fast. Boom, 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 right? And so when I'm asking, was their votes changed? Boom, 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 boom. Perhaps. But 10 of Swords, he still lost. This is like a devastating loss. He still lost. It's possible, by the way, that this 10 of Swords could represent the blocking of the manipulation that they attempted, like it didn't even work. At least in some counties or areas or states, but it could also just simply represent that he lost anyway. But something came in fast and quickly for him. Oh, and I'll tell you also why I go there. Because with this plan that is at the base is this Wheel of Fortune. So a plan to change the fortune. Because we're disappointed with the numbers, put someone on it. We know there was like regular voter suppression, but I read specifically here on the electronic switching of votes and whether or not that possibly happened. And I also have here with this a Seven of Pentacles. Along with the planning was a lot of work that went into this. So we have a lot of work going into a plan to change the fortune. He lost. The Emperor lost, no matter how much came in for him. Just to add to this, in the past, we have this Seven of Cups. This can be like an illusion delusion. It can also be like a let's look at all of our options. You see this person sort of, and so I think they have, you saw it, different ways of stopping people from being able to vote, make it more difficult. We had the post office. We had like, let's make it, one option to vote for like thousands and thousands of people in the long line. Like all these basically all these, let's look at every option we have. This is where I get the idea of like they looked at every option they had. And there's a partnership here. So before the election, they partnered with someone to look at all their options for voter suppression or however they could possibly just be sure to hold on to the vote, the presidency. And then here, what I have is the outcome of it, sort of similar to this Ten of Swords, ending and ruin, is this Three of Swords, which is another just devastation. It didn't work. And a Page of Swords is not a powerful card. So, you know, this Emperor is now a Page of Swords. He doesn't have the power. He can do his little tweets. I keep getting that Page of Swords, like his tweets. But really, he's destroyed. And then I did want to know, okay, like how's everybody feeling and what's the outcome and all that? So we have Nine of Swords. This is just sort of similar to like these other devastation cards. Just they're out of options. Now I know this card in this particular Connolly tarot deck, it doesn't look like devastation here. She just looks like she's taking a walk, but it really is a sort of like you're trapped. There's no way out. There's no way out of the situation that Trump is in. And then this Two of Swords is just trying to hold one's ground. So they're trapped in the situation of he's lost. They don't have any more options. It's like he's in a prison where he cannot get out. The prison is his loss. And he has others, you know, of course we see trying to help him. This Two of Swords also just being like just like desperation to hold his ground, to hold their ground. But Two of Swords is confusion, difficult choices, feeling stuck, not knowing what to do or which way to turn. So they're being defensive and buying time. It's just like you can temporarily try to slow things down, try to stop reality, but it's not going to work. The hopes and fears, this is a Six of Wands, which is a victory card. I mean, the hope is, that we can somehow get the victory, but the fear is that Biden got the victory, that they will not get it, and that's the reality. And then what I get in the outcome, again with this Three of Wands, this looking overseas. And you know, hey, we know Russia is very involved in trying to keep Trump in power. So I didn't say that, but I think this partnership could be Russian hackers, that sort of thing. Which I feel like almost like Russian hackers and right-wing hackers are like one and the same now. You know, sort of the Cambridge Analyticas or those types of people, the Bannons and their schemes, the Mercers, that kind of just, what are they up to crowd. But anyway, so I do sometimes feel like he might, and by the way, again with this Moon card, so I do think he will leave, when he leaves, that this Moon card keeps coming up for how he leaves, so it might be something like in the night or sort of quietly, and maybe he does go overseas. I don't know that he's going to be like escaping conviction or something. You know, maybe like, I'm taking a vacation, I don't know. But that's there. You know, this Moon card can also be like a lunacy or a howling at the moon. Sometimes it can just be someone howling. But I've been reading it as taking off quietly in the night. And then I get Queen of Wands, which is my Nancy Pelosi card, and the Lovers, which to me is bringing in the new administration while he leaves quietly in the night. So that's interesting. When I first pulled this card, Three of Wands, at the bottom of the deck was this Chariot card. He leaves because someone else, this Chariot, is coming in fast and hard. I think this is Biden. I think that the energy of Biden and the Biden administration and the Biden votes And the Biden win is just too big and too strong, and it's coming too fast and too hard. I forgot to mention, the Chariot card definitely has a military feel, so that could be present as well, but I do feel it's related to Biden's strength as the incoming president, and I think done privately, not publicly, like Trump just gets powered out. And I realize I didn't expand on Nancy being there as Queen of Wands, but interesting that there she is, so possibly involved in the transaction or the transition as well. And it forces him out quietly in the night. I think, we'll see. And I get that with this Two of Pentacles. Right side up, the Two of Pentacles would be like a juggling. I would read it as who won? We don't know. It's so hard to know who won. It's upside down. Like, we know who won. Get lost. You can't keep playing this game where you're juggling all these lawsuits and you're questioning all the... No. It just gets squashed by this Chariot. This thing is so way too strong. I mean, this is not a strong, a 2 is not as strong as a major arcana anyway. So I just feel like that their little scheming is so overpowered by what's coming in. And then this High Priestess, might kind of tie into this Moon card and this 3 of Wands. And like in my last read, I hope him going silent. There's a mystery I think that we're going to be sitting with for a little while. Like, what happened? Where is he? Can someone fill in the blanks for us? Because suddenly he's gone. Yeah. So that's my read on that. Pretty interesting. I don't necessarily get any kind of sun card at the end, like it's going to be clear to us. But it's interesting to consider the possibility that he didn't get as many votes as it looks like he got. As crazy as that sounds, and it's like a dangerous thing to say when we're trying to prove that the election is fair and that Biden won fair and square, and then to say, well, but there was cheating. It's like, because that is dangerous for democracy to suggest that our elections are not fair. So it's like a dangerous territory. But I wanted to read on it, and that's what I did get this. I do feel that Biden did win fair and square. But I think that that Team Trump was up to no good, and that's what they do. And when they accuse other people of things, it's because that's what they were doing. Always. So I don't think it's that far off. So, for entertainment purposes only, just a thing to look at in a tarot card read. And the point of it to me is wondering if the Trump support in this country is not as big as it appears to be. Is that possible? So I think I'll do another read to look at that, because no matter what, I don't know what they got away with, but there's still a lot of people who believe in these news networks that dish out conspiracy theory, fake news garbage. So we still have a problem in the country, no matter if they got away with some things. And so we should look at the future of America and the Trump support, and is it going to shift and change? So I'll read on that next. Thanks, guys. Bye.